Okay, and here we have the Asmodus Colossal 80 watt mod with the Wotofo Flow Pro Subohm tank. This product was sent to me for the purpose of this review. Let's go ahead, open up the package, and see what it comes with. Okay, so here we have the Wotofo Flow Pro Subohm tank and the Asmodus Colossal 80 watt mod. So this is a single 18650 battery mod. Let's go ahead and pull that out. And you're going to see you get a spare glass tank and a spare coil head for the Flow Pro Subohm tank. You're also going to get a little plastic ring, which is going to be kind of a mod protector. That's going to keep your tank from scratching up the top of your mod. And then you're also going to get some spare O-rings. You're going to get a booklet talking about the Flow Pro Subohm tank by Wotofo, your battery caution card, Asmodus warranty card, and your user manual for the Colossal 80 watt. So the Colossal 80 watt mod is obviously capable of 80 watts in power mode. It's going to go from 5 to 80 watts. In temperature control, your wattage is going to be 5 to 60 watts. The temperature control is going to be 212 degrees Fahrenheit up to 572 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius to 300 degrees Celsius. It supports both TCR and TFR mode. It also supports curve mode, and it has a maximum output voltage of 7.5 volts. So looking at the front of the device, here is your fire button. It's slightly recessed in there. As you can see, the top of the mod bumps out a little bit, so the button is a little recessed, though it does sit flush with this part down here. And then of course you have your very well known Asmodus chip here with the touch screen. Flipping it upside down, there you can see your ventilation holes for the battery. Go ahead and take this atomizer off. So you do have a 25 millimeter atomizer. Take the battery door off, and you have your USB charging cable for charging and upgrading your device. There's your battery door. And there is the USB charge port located on the inside of the battery door. So if you want to upgrade this device, I do not recommend charging this device, but if you want to upgrade the device, you will have to remove the battery door. There are no magnets holding on this battery door. It is simply friction fit here. It does fit nice and tightly. I don't feel it coming off at all. There's no shake or rattle. Everything seems to fit nice and flush. Has this very high gloss kind of automotive type paint on it. You have your spring-loaded contact at the top. That is for your negative, and then your positive is at the bottom. You can see some venting in there as well. So let's go ahead and grab a battery. Nice tight fit, really easy to remove the batteries there. You have cutouts in the sides, so you can just pull to remove the batteries. Five clicks to turn on the device. And then you have your main power screen there. Very nice bright power screen. Swipe down to unlock, and then you're going to be able to slide to the left and the right to toggle through all of your menu settings. Same menu it appears as the Asmodus V2. So you got your temp, your curve, your TCR, your TFR, and back to power. Here at the bottom you can see the S, that's going to be for soft. And if you swipe down, that can toggle it from soft to hard, back to normal. Clicking on the wattage will allow you to adjust your wattage. It adjusts in 0.1 watt increments. Push the fire button to exit out. Below your wattage, you're going to see you have your voltage, your resistance, your puff time, and the number of puffs. To go into a sub menu, you have your power. That's kind of how you're going to shut your device off. Then you have the edit there, which you can edit your puff reset. Here's where you can adjust the screen. So that is all the way at 0. Now we can go all the way up to 10 for screen brightness. That's going to be where you can download updates, your chip version. Here is where you can choose whether to click or slide for the gestures. This is where you can read your resistance and adjust your resistance. So it's pretty much same exact chipset as the Asmodus Minikin V2. Pretty simple, easy to understand there. The main thing to always keep in mind is that the sensor is at the top of your screen. So you want to make sure that when you're swiping, don't swipe down here at the bottom, always swipe at the top. Start with your finger on the sensor and swipe down to unlock, and then you can swipe from side to side. And you also have the option in the menu, as I showed you, where you can change it from swiping to clicking if you prefer to just tap the screen to toggle through the menu system. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the FlowPro Subohm tank. So here at the top we have this very nice acrylic drip tip. You can remove that, and that's going to expose your 810 drip tip. You do have an O-ring down in the catch cup. What I like on here is on the tank they included this little sticker that tells you that you need to push to open it. So you're going to actually swivel it out. You push and it swivels out there, and that's going to expose your fill port. Has dual slotted airflow. Whatever you do to one side, it will do to the other. The airflow on it is on a stopper, and it is quite stiff, which I will assume is going to loosen up over time. To replace your coil head, you're going to simply grab the base and turn it counterclockwise. And that's going to remove the base with the coil head. You have a mesh coil head in there. I'm going to go ahead and prime the coil real quick. Since this is a mesh coil head, I like to be really liberal and make sure I get all of that cotton nice and saturated from the top all the way to the bottom, as well on these side ports here. So that is the Asmodus Colossal 80 watt mod and FlowPro Subohm tank by Wotofo. Let's go back up top, have a vape on it, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions. Alright, and that was an up close look at the Asmodus and Wotofo Colossal 80 watt kit. So what are my thoughts? Well, let's get right into the pros and cons of it. I'm going to go over the tank first. So the first pro for the tank is going to be that it is a 24mm tank, and it comes with mesh coil heads. And those mesh coil heads, I gotta say, produce some phenomenal flavor and really good cloud production. Speaking of cloud production, part of vapor production is going to be your airflow. So the airflow on this wide open is very unrestricted. It's got 3 airflow slots. Of course, it is adjustable, and whatever you do to one slot, it's going to do to the others. Let me go ahead and let you listen to what it sounds like when I vape it fully wide open. Good flavor and lots of vapor production there. So these mesh coil heads have really been kicking it for me. I've pushed over 80 mils of Adora e-liquid, a banana bondage, through these coils, and they're still going strong. So I definitely feel like I'm going to get to the 100 milliliter mark that I usually use to judge whether a coil is good at longevity or not. I definitely feel this one's going to make it there. Next pro is going to be the extras that they include with the tank. The extras for the tank, you're going to get all of the spare O-rings and grommets, including a spare glass tank section and a spare coil head. So you're really going to get to work this thing through, test out 2 coils before you decide whether you want to buy another pack of coils. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't. These mesh coils are really good. I've had no leaking from this Subohm tank so far. I have let it sit overnight to see if e-liquid will slowly drain out of it, and that's not been an issue for me, so that's been really good. Next pro is going to be there is a 4 ml e-liquid capacity, so the tank will last you. Usually what I find is the tank and the battery last me almost the same. I usually fill the tank twice for each battery cycle. Now, before we go into the mod any further, let me talk about some cons with the tank, because I do have some cons for the tank, and they're nitpicky cons. Really, it was hard to find something wrong with this tank for me. One was more obvious, and that is that it is slide open fill, and that slide open is a little loose there. I don't have to push very hard to get it to slide open, and because that gasket there is fully open, if it opens in my pocket and it tips over, it's definitely gonna leak e-liquid all over my clothes. So one of the things that they could have done to prevent that from happening is they could have included a membrane over top of that silicone fill port gasket there. That way it only opens when you stick your bottle in, and when you remove the bottle, the membrane closes back up, creating a seal that even if this opens, it wouldn't spill everywhere. So I wish they would have done that. The other con that I have for this tank is really nitpicky, and that's that it doesn't come with a 510 drip tip. And those are my only cons for the tank. Now let's talk about the actual Colossal 80 watt mod. Pros: fit and finish on this thing is beautiful. The paint job on there, that nice high gloss cherry red paint job on there, has been holding up wonderfully. I stick this thing in my purse, I stick it in the cup holder of my console, on my desk. I haven't dropped this mod yet, which is kind of surprising for me because I usually drop mods quite a bit, but it feels really comfortable in the hand. The fit and finish on this, it's small, it's portable, it's really nice. I really love the ergonomics of this mod. Now, because it's so small, it won't fit anything greater than a 24 millimeter without overhang. I do have some more straight 25 millimeters that do sit pretty much flush. There's like ever so little bit of overhang there, but for the most part 24 millimeters and under is going to be what you're going to want to put on top of this mod. My next pro for this mod is going to be that it's got a very easy, simple to read menu. Now the one thing with this is it is a touch screen, so if you're somebody that's not into touchscreen mods, I'm sorry to say this one does not have directional buttons. There are no clickable directional buttons on here, but I've not had any trouble whatsoever with the responsiveness of the screen. It's nice and bright, easy to read, and as long as you remember where to swipe, it's very responsive. So always start with your finger at the top where this black bar is. That's where your sensor is, and then swiping down and it's going to unlock your mod every time. At least in my experience, that's what I found. But it does take a little bit of a learning curve getting used to where to touch on that screen. Now let's talk about cons, because I do have some subjective and less subjective cons for this device. It's a single battery device. You guys out there that want long battery life, just know that you're going to fit one 18650 battery. You're going to have to change out your battery multiple times throughout the day. It is very nice. The chipset that they include in here is really good on battery conservation, so I only have to use 2 to 2.5 battery in this device for the whole day. That's not bad. That's pretty good. That's like carrying a dual battery mod with 2 batteries and that lasting you the whole day. That's about the same for this device. I go through 2 batteries for the whole day on it. Con is going to be that the USB port, whichever side it's on, is on the inside of the door. Now, Asmodus does state in their manual that they do not recommend charging the device through the USB port. We do know there's going to be people out there that do it, and putting it inside is definitely going to be a con for those that absolutely want to charge their battery inside of their mod. And it's just an inconvenient place for a lot of people. If you go to update it, you're going to have to take the door off. So that's probably a con to a lot of people. And that's really all I have negative to say about this mod. It really has been a good, enjoyable mod. I am a big fan of Asmodus, their Minikin V2, and that chipset, so I'm really happy with it. That's my thoughts on the Colossal 80-watt kit. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit the bell icon so you get notified the next time I upload a video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye!